They just want relationship. That's
Yeah.
it. So when you're serving pizza, that's relationship.
They want the pizza too.
Yeah, they want the pizza too.
You don't know how hungry they are. They're
No,
hungry
they
all the
chow.
time.
They want
They chow.
relationship.
And I can peddle ice cream like a pro, so.
My name is Stacy. I am in the Purple Tribe.
I'm Madison. I'm with Purple Tribe.
I'm Alex. I'm with Red Tribe.
I'm Matt with the Red Tribe. So I really didn't want to be a tribe leader. You know, it was probably, it's been what, 5 years?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
5 or
about
6
right, yeah.
years. But I remember they were doing, the sermon where we talk about serving. And I was like, oh, I could do a couple different things. And I think I started out in the parking lot and parking cars.
I remember you in your parking lot day.
And then I went to being a door holder and a welcome tent guy. But Trey did a talk where he talked about the people that influenced his life. And it was youth leaders. So it made me start thinking about people who impacted my life as a kid. And I was like, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. I kept telling myself I'm not that person. But I appreciated the people that impacted my life. And then, I don't know, something just, I guess, how do you put it? The Holy Spirit moves you. And, like people say, well, God spoke to me. I've never really thought God spoke to me because I've never heard any voices. But I've gotten thoughts. So that's how I figure God was telling me, you need to do this. Give it a try.
I would actually say my story is very similar, but instead of it being I didn't want to be a tribe leader, it was more like Wellspring doesn't want me to be a tribe leader. No, I really thought like I could bring nothing to the table. I thought like I'm this young 20s, I think I was 27 whenever, 26, 27 whenever I first started. I was like, what am I going to teach a kid? Like, I don't know that their parents want me hanging around, like I'm going to, whatever. And I showed up just because the youth leaders at the time were trying to beg me every single Sunday, when are you going to show up? Nah, you don't want me there. When are you going to show up? You don't want me there. I don't want to be there, whatever. And then all of a sudden, it was like, you get asked the same question so many times that God's like, no, you will do this. I don't care when it's going to happen. You will. And it was like, all right, God, I'll just show up and I'll prove to you how bad of an idea it is. And then, 6 months later, I had my own tribe. Like, I wasn't showing up just to be a helping hand, because that's really where it started, was just show up and help. And then 6 months later, I had my own tribe. And then Matt joined me shortly thereafter that. And then it was just literally like, and then we've been with them like 5 or 6 years now. And it's, now there's not a better, like I would not rather be anywhere else on a Wednesday night. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, I was at 6.5 years ago, TJ asked me to go to a worship conference with him. Me and Brandon went with him and Beth, and we went to a worship conference. It was Lift in Atlanta with like Andy Stanley and all them. And the breakout session that I went to was Christy Knuckles, and she was talking about how when you lead worship, you have to have a capacity for other people. Like, you need to have a capacity for other people. And God was not speaking to me about worship at all in that moment. He should have been probably, but he wasn't. He was like, no, you need to have a capacity for people, and who are they? And I was like, okay, well, teenage girls. And I was like, I like teenage girls. I like teenagers. And at the time I was like, but that's silly because Wellspring has 2 kids in their student ministry right now. So what am I doing? So I came back and I was like, TJ, I want to work with students. And he was like, and quit worship? And I was like, no, I just want to work with students and do worship. And he was like, okay. And I don't remember who I reached out to at that time. And I was like, I want to do it. And they were like, come. And then it just kind of went from there. But I remember being like, this is the craziest thing you've ever told me, because there's 2 students and there's more leaders than there are children right now. So why do you want me to do this? No.
I don't know. I feel like I always wanted to work. I knew I always wanted to work with youth of some kind. I mean, obviously I became a teacher, whatever. But I don't know. I grew up kind of like you were saying. I had youth leaders that invested in me. I was at FCA camps and I had these huddle leaders that invested in me, and I constantly remember these teenagers. So I was like, well, I'm gonna be cool and I'm gonna be a huddle leader too. Watch me go. And so I did that through college, and then we find this church and you realize that they have this massive youth program, and you're like, I want to be part of that. I mean, even as an adult, I was like, there's something there that they have. I guess it was, and I always seek community. I seek people that are welcoming, that will include me, that make me feel like I'm not alone in life. And I guess being able to be something like that for students of any age is important. It's something that I want to do. But I think I think they impact us just as much. So I was like a two-way street. It was like, I'm gonna, pour into you and pour into you, but it was also, I needed to be poured into, and I didn't realize I was gonna get it through the students, which I find out later, but I thought, I'll build a great little community group with all the leaders and woo! But it turned out to be, yes, the leaders are definitely my people, but it turned out to be the kids were investing back in me, and that was a draw for me.